Whether you're road tripping it to the Kentucky Derby or just throwing your own party this weekend, your ensemble is not complete without a hat.
Have to have the hat,
yes,
right?
Sir.
I think that sets it all apart. Melissa Cohn joins us now from Churchill Downs in Kentucky for continuing coverage of Dawn at the Downs. It seems she's found a rather large bird to wear on her head as well.
Hey, good morning, guys. And it's not a bird, it's actually called a fascinator. And it might look silly, but seriously, this is quite the fashion back here on Churchill Downs. And speaking of fashion, joining us this morning is Lindsay Worster, and she works for Vineyard Vines, who knows all about style of the Derby.
Yes, thanks for having me. I work for Vineyard Vines. We're the official style of the Kentucky Derby. We've been here for 3 years now. We make a whole line, apparel line for men and women.
So is this dress part of your line?
Yes, absolutely. It's part of the 2013 collection. I'm wearing pink today for Oaks, but we've got everything from a seersucker suit to ties, totes, sweatshirts, hats, you name it.
Fabulous. Now, what is the big color this year?
I'm expecting to see a lot of really bright colors, almost neon.
Awesome. All right, so you know what to be wearing to your parties. Go for the bright colors. And of course, your outfit will not be complete without the hat, and they can get pretty darn expensive. So you can always just make it yourself and save some money. Joining us here now is Kelly Kay. She actually made the hat herself. She's going to give us a quick how-to on making the perfect derby hat.
Yeah, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can just get the first hat that I found was pretty inexpensive, and then I just picked a big statement piece that I wanted to put on it, and I found this is actually one big piece, big feather. Found some ribbon that I like to match it and put a little bling in there, had a little glue gun and some creativity, and you can come up with something really unique. And that's the biggest thing, is ladies want to be unique at the track. You don't want to have the same hat that someone else does, and you don't want to spend a lot of money because you have to have an outfit too.
Absolutely. Well, that's some pretty good advice. And if you just need some other ideas, we'll put up a couple of pictures of some of the hats that we found here on the backside of Churchill Downs a little bit later today. But as for now, back to the studio. Kevin, Brett.
Well, whether you're headed to the Kentucky Derby this weekend or watching America's Greatest Race on TV, the experience is not complete without the signature drink.
News 3's Melissa Cohn is in Louisville this morning at the track with more on the history of the mint julep.
That's right. You can't do the Derby without a mint julep or two. And joining us this morning is the Chief Entertaining Officer of Brown-Forman. Now, that sounds like a really great job.
It is a great job. It's a lot of fun. It's America's CEO, Chief Entertaining Officer, but it doesn't make as much money as other CEOs. But we have more fun. But it is fun. But anyway, here we are. It's Derby week, and you've got to have the quintessential mint julep, as you said, or several. And it's one of those drinks that actually has a little history to it.
Okay.
The mint julep actually started way back in the 1800s on these horse farms. And again, when people were working horse farms, it's very laborious, it's hard work, your muscles are sore, and they didn't have Tylenol or Advil back in the day, but they had a lot of inexpensive, cheap whiskey. And to make it taste good, what they would do is add sugar and mint to it, drink that as a morning bracer. Their muscles would relax and they could do a hard day's work. However, now the drink has refined itself to a wonderful sipping beverage associated with thoroughbred horse racing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's how to make the best mint julep at home. So if you're throwing a derby party, here's what you want to do.
Okay.
Start out with making a mint simple syrup, and this is very easy. What you do is, on a saucepan on heat, add 1 part sugar, 1 part water, stirring to dissolve all the sugar, and when that comes to a boil, take that off the heat, and then add 1 part of mint leaves, stems and all, stir it, let it steep for like 20 minutes, like you're making a tea with the mint, and then let that cool, strain off the mint leaves, and you have this wonderful mint simple syrup. Now to make your julep, on a tall glass with crushed ice, add 1 ounce of your mint simple syrup and 2 ounces of Woodford Reserve bourbon, which is the official bourbon of Churchill Downs. So that's all there is to it, and then a big garnish of mint leaves, and then that's the perfect mint julep. And if you like it a little sweeter, you can add a little bit more of the mint simple syrup. If you like more bourbon, add a little bit more Woodford, so you can adjust it to your taste. And also, that works great. That mint simple syrup is great in iced tea, so if you want an alcohol-free julep, you can do that as well. So, but just a wonderful tip.
Well, what I've heard is that this has been the signature drink since 1938. So obviously it must be good, right?
Oh, it's delicious. And I'll tell you what, for Churchill Downs, I mean, it's amazing. Everybody that comes here has to have a mint julep. And it's really become one of those wonderful summertime drinks. Again, you sip it. And that's the one thing about crushed ice. Crushed ice is important, because again, you want it to just melt a little bit and dilute the bourbon and the mint and the sugars in there, and it's just delicious.
Well, it sure sounds like it. In fact, what I'm hearing is that Churchill Downs is going to sell over 125,000 of these cocktails over the next 2 days, so they must be good. And if you missed the recipe, we're going to post it online a little bit later this morning at WSILTV.com. Reporting from Churchill Downs, Louisville, Kentucky, it's Melissa Cohn with News 3. These thoroughbreds work their entire lives for a race like this. But it's not just them in this equation. Chip Woolley is an expert when it comes to Derby horses. He says it's similar to training a human athlete.
You jog, you do, you get your fitness level up, and then, you do sprints like a human would do sprints. Well, we do the same thing with racehorses. We stretch their legs and we give them hard works that get them to their peak fitness,
When Woolley chooses a horse to train, he's looking for stamina, and lots of it.
Like the Derby here is 1.25 miles, so it's a test of speed and distance. So you have to have a horse that can run far enough.
Once a horse can handle the distance, trainers work on their speed. Trainer Lynn Whitting says the daily workouts start at 6 a.m. and last for several hours.
After the horse trains, he'll probably get a bath and he'll walk 30 minutes. Then he might well go out here on the grass and graze.
Whitting says exercising them the morning of the race helps ease their anxiety.
We try to fool the horse if we can, not let him know it's race day, but they figure it out.
It's hard to keep a secret with excited spectators like these, but who can blame them? In Louisville, Melissa Cohn, News 3.